And here's Hilton Tarrant with the business news headlines.
Well, the JSE soars 5% on the back of China's $586 billion stimulus plan. Eskom signs a $500 million loan with the African Development Bank. Telkom buys MWeb's African business for over 600 million rand. And Lewis manages a 1% drop in HEPS, but debtor costs jump from 3 to 4.5%. The all share closed up 5.1% to 21,052 points. Resources up nearly 11% on the day. Gold at $753 a fine ounce. A barrel of Brent at 59. The rand is at 9.95 to the dollar, 15.65 to the pound, and the euro at 12.80.
David Shapiro in the studio, a huge stimulus package there. If you take South Africa's GDP at, certainly my calculations, $207 billion at the moment, it's nearly three times.
Yeah.
So creating three South African economies through one stimulus package.
Yeah. It's
Chinese are serious.
It's a 2-year package, but it's going to include subsidies, infrastructure spend, tax cuts. But it's huge. I think it could add another 2% to the Chinese GDP, and I think that's what everyone was worrying about because growth came down from 11% to 9%. So they'll get it up there again. But the market liked it.
They'll get it up there again, he says, as though you just click your fingers and these things happen.
Well,
anyway,
Alec, they've got $2 trillion in reserves if they need to spend.
John Maynard Keynes is all of a sudden your hero
he's
again.
hot again, yeah. I've got his what's it? The biography. Yeah, it's 3 volumes. I'm going to read it.
I thought it was in 2, but anyway,
I've got
you got the third one as well. David, the JSE today up nearly 5%. So clearly that stimulus package. We're going to be crossing to Martin Davies. You know Martin from Stellenbosch University, an expert on all things Chinese. So we're going to be crossing to him a little later. Yeah, he's staying up. Stayed up for our colleagues at Lotus FM, and now he's staying up for us a bit later.
I heard him on that radio. I was listening in there.
So
they're very knowledgeable.
It's nearly 10 past 1 in the morning.
Very
so
knowledgeable. Yeah.
Does he still sound okay?
No, he sounded articulate.
Wide awake. Drinking lots of coffee. But outside of that, I suppose it was happy days.
Well, it was. And, Alec, we're still back where we were last Wednesday. Remember, we had 6 days up, came back for 3 days, and we're starting to pick up again. But I think it's a good sign. I wouldn't have liked the market to have retraced all the way to where we were a few weeks ago. And we're starting to see money coming in. But I was a bit disappointed in volumes today. So the market not wholly convinced that we've seen the bottom. So even though we had a very good day, I think volumes in the JSE 8 billion. So it shows you there's still a lot of work to be done to convince people that things may be improving.
The volatility index is down to 47%. I say down to 47% because it was over 50, but that's still highly volatile, and we see it in some of the moves today. Exaro, 20% jump. ArcelorMittal, 15%. Kumba, 15%. These are big numbers again.
But remember, they've gone down by those amounts as well. So there's a recovery in ArcelorMittal. I know we were discussing, whether one should go in after the results came out last week. Should we go in? Shouldn't we go in? Now we're at a level where we discussed should we go in, and we're up 15%.
Who's buying these shares, David?
No, I think there's genuine investment. Strangely, there's quite a bit of money on the side.
But people buying them to hold them for a long period?
I think certainly institutions coming in at these levels. I know they've been cash rich up to now and starting to look at opportunities to find cheap stocks. But there's still a huge amount of work to be done. I mean, if you look at the US, they're shedding jobs by the thousands, and so this is just a package that is hoping to turn the global economy around.
I know you're an expert in the infrastructure side. Did you have a chance to look at Robex?
I looked at
results?
Robex. Yeah.
Your thoughts?
I like it. It's in the right area of the market. But the one thing that concerns me and it's coming through is a lot of capex taking place. And if you look at Robex, the amount they're spending on capex is almost equal to their profits, and that's one of the drawbacks with companies.
So they're buying new plant and equipment.
Well,
and new
how
trucks
long does
and so
that
on.
go on? It keeps going on. So they haven't got the cash flows available to pay big dividends, but very, very good result nevertheless.
You're always close to the gossip, and the gossip today has to be focused on Metorex. The share price is all the way down at 6 Rand a share. There is a cautionary announcement from the company. Do you think someone might be making a bid?
I think there's talk, but I'm not sure what it is. Look, remember we also have trouble in the DRC as well, so I don't know if it's related, whether it makes people a little cautious
today. And talk is cheap. Money buys the whiskey. Is there any money coming through for this one?
Not as much. I would say not as much as for the other shares that you've mentioned earlier on that. So I think this could be a late runner if everything's good.